James Webb Space Telescope spotted a large object about 10 light-years away moving toward Earth.
4.5 billion years ago, the planets in our solar system formed from a massive disk of gas and dust. Through the years, scientists have theorized that through a process called accretion, gas and dust are stuck together, a lot like those clumps of dust and dirt that collect under your bed. And through this process, the planet formed, only this time it takes billions of years. However, since the surfacing of James Webb's photos of Pluto, many are left to wonder, is it even a planet? And with its remarkable distance from the Sun, is there something scientists and astronomers are missing? These are the questions this video will answer, so stay tuned. James Webb Space Telescope. It would not be fair to start without letting you understand the James Webb Telescope and its remarkable engineering. The James Webb Space Telescope is one of the most powerful space telescopes ever built and was launched on December 25, 2021. The James Webb Space Telescope is a large, infrared-optimized space telescope launched by NASA, the European Space Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency. It does not orbit around the Earth like the Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble can only capture a pixelated image of this tiny speck. The James Webb Space Telescope orbits the Sun 1.5 million kilometers, or 1 million miles, away from the Earth. NASA brags that its Webb telescope is the premier observatory of the next decade, serving thousands of astronomers worldwide. It can observe some of the earliest galaxies in the cosmos and study the formation of stars and planets. According to NASA, the James Webb Space Telescope has just captured a precise image of Pluto. Its infrared capabilities have allowed it to see through the haze in Pluto's atmosphere. James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST, is made of silver-colored sunshields as big as a tennis court and 21 feet of gold-plated mirrors for gathering light. There are 18 of these hexagonal mirrors, but when you fold them out, they all work together as one mirror. All 18 images will form one magnificent solid image. Percival Lowell, a well-known astronomer, felt that this planet, then known as Planet X, disrupted the orbits of Uranus and Neptune. Objects like MU69 retain the pristine conditions of the early solar system, and examining them will help us better understand what the early solar system was like. According to scientists at NASA, JWST has offered the sharpest image of Neptune, allowing us to view both the ice planet and its rings. It has also been noted they haven't seen anything like this since Voyager 2 became the first spacecraft to sail near Neptune in 1989. The James Webb Space Telescope discovered numerous interesting objects and features on the surface of the dwarf planet Pluto. What lies beneath Pluto's icy heart is far more extraordinary than anyone can imagine. Pluto's surface tells a story of geological activity and dynamism that was previously thought impossible. It is finds like these that help us understand how even the farthest and most mysterious objects in our solar system change over time. When you discover an astronomical object far, far away, you have no direct way of measuring its mass. You don't actually know how massive it is. It turns out Pluto is smaller than Earth's moon, but size wasn't Pluto's only problem. So was its location, a tiny little planet in the outer solar system. Previous models of the Pluto system had to be re-evaluated in a big way because of haze in the atmosphere and a lower than expected rate of atmospheric pressure. Whatever's causing the extraordinary geology on Pluto's surface will be debated for years to come. By now, most of us are familiar with the idea that life, perhaps even the simplest form of microbial life, could survive in some of the most extreme, inhospitable environments imaginable. But here's the thing. It's not just about discovering microbes. We're talking about environments that challenge everything we thought we knew about what life requires to thrive. There are countless theories, each offering a unique perspective on where life might be hiding in the vast expanse of our universe. Yet we remain uncertain about which, if any, are correct. This uncertainty adds a layer of excitement to the mystery. Some ideas may turn out to be completely wrong, but others might just redefine our understanding of life itself. Take Pluto, for example. It's a fascinating enigma that defies the conventional rules. This dwarf planet stands apart from the rest of the solar system with its quirky characteristics and extreme conditions. And that's what makes it so captivating. In a way, Pluto is a living testament to the idea that the universe doesn't follow a strict set of guidelines. Its diversity is boundless, and that's something we could never witness anywhere else in our solar system. But what really blows my mind is when astrobiologists talk about the possibility that Pluto, or other places in the far reaches of space, could be home to life. Imagine that. Life thriving in an environment that's very different from ours. It's both a humbling and exhilarating thought that pushes the boundaries of what we understand about life's potential. Could it be? Could we really find evidence of life in places we least expect? The possibility is awe-inspiring, and it makes you wonder, what else are we missing in the universe? We're in this wonderful position of knowing volumes compared to what we knew before. The Gaia Space Observatory has been creating the most precise, three-dimensional star map of our galaxy that has ever been made. Infrared light is what Webb is designed to see. Infrared is invisible, like a night vision camera. The telescope is sensitive to heat radiation, which is all that remains of the light reaching us from the dawn of time. Webb is already the first to find carbon dioxide in the sky of a planet 700 light-years away. Neptune's moon, Triton, might be one of the coldest yet most intriguing places in the solar system. However, Pluto definitely breaks the rules. From mysterious ice volcanoes to hidden realms far beyond the reach of the sun, Pluto continues to break the rules. Let's dive into the incredible journey of exploration that brought us closer to this strange world than ever before. It's a weird planet of awe. For nearly a century, Clyde has had the honor of being the only American to discover a planet. Let us know your comment below, and do not forget to hit the notification button for more updates. Clyde Tombaugh is the first person to be buried in interstellar space. The New Horizons mission, which passed by Pluto in 2015, provided a snapshot of just 40% of Pluto's surface. On July 14, 2015, New Horizons flew about 7,800 kilometers above the surface of Pluto. After 13 hours, mission operations got a number of status messages that confirmed the flyby had gone well. New Horizons finally answered one of the most important questions about Pluto: how big it is. Pluto is not the sole object on the outskirts of the solar system, but rather one of the largest representatives of a whole class of bodies. Scientists found that Pluto's width is about 2,370 kilometers, a little more than what was thought before. There is something that looks very much like an ice volcano on Pluto. The Kuiper belt has 1,000 times more objects than we have in the asteroid belt, which was completely unknown until these first observations. Over the last few decades, astronomers have discovered that Kuiper belt objects vary in size, shape, and also in their orbits. There are larger objects like Pluto. Incredibly, neither the Moon nor the planet Mercury has atmospheres, although they are much larger and more massive than Pluto. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has hardly opened its eyes, and the universe is new, more mysterious, and more beautiful than humanity's dreams. By zooming in on this high-resolution image, we can discover many of Pluto's hidden features, some of which may surprise you. The gas in Pluto's atmosphere is more than 80,000 times less than that of Earth's, and is thought to be created when surface ice is vaporized by the sun's light. Scientists believe the haze is a smog resulting from the action of sunlight on methane and other molecules. For decades, scientists believed that a planet's ability to support life was limited to a specific region around its star called the habitable zone, where liquid water could exist. Now, the real question in everybody's mind is, Pluto is just a fraction of the size of Earth. So how could it support such dramatic geological features? Pluto and its moons were a lot more complicated than people thought, and a lot of action was going on. Pluto has been defying expectations for billions of years. For about 25 years, Pluto has been moving further and further away from the Sun along its orbit. As a result, the temperature on its surface gradually decreased. Pluto's atmosphere is mostly sustained by the pressure of ice vapors on the surface. Pluto is about 4 billion miles from the Sun, so it doesn't get much light. This makes the surface very cold, at about 400 degrees F. NASA has recently posted some quite stunning photographs of Pluto on its Instagram account that show the small celestial object in various colors of the rainbow. These images have been liked by hundreds of people and have sparked interest in this icy dwarf planet. Looking at these pictures, it's as if sitting on the spacecraft, looking out the window as Pluto goes whizzing by. Pluto, like Earth, has been discovered to have flipped on its side early in history. It's slightly over 1,400 miles wide, almost half the breadth of the United States, or 2/3 the width of the Moon. Pluto has changed its position so that it now faces Charon, its moon, and it's likely that this change is what cracked Pluto's surface and made those huge faults that go all the way across the planet. Pluto will keep changing its position if more ice keeps building up in the basin. This is very interesting because this is different from anything we've seen else in the solar system. Beautiful images acquired from Pluto revealed the planet's surface has been blanketed by a massive glacier consisting of nitrogen and methane since 4 billion years ago. Pluto's surface is complex and diverse, with jumbled mountains similar to Europa's. Among the most striking features found on Pluto are these large snow-capped mountains in the southern hemisphere that almost resemble the Alps here on Earth, as seen from the International Space Station. Alan Stern and his team are already advocating for a follow-up mission, a Pluto orbiter that could spend years studying Pluto in incredible detail. Nitrogen ice has built up, making a huge sheet of ice that is at least 2.5 km thick. This event can only happen if Pluto has an ocean below its icy surface. The Pluto orbiter could have radar and laser sensors that could read the surface without using visible light. We could study its gravity signature and see how it changes. Stern says that an orbiter is needed to prove for sure that Pluto has an ocean. Did you know that scientists used to think Pluto slowly formed from cold stuff? They felt that as pieces of space junk moved around the sun, the dwarf planet slowly filled up with rock and ice over time. But here's something that will truly blow your mind. What if Pluto, despite its frozen surface, harbors secrets that challenge everything we thought we knew about life in the universe? Could the icy world we once considered barren actually be a cradle for alien biology, hidden beneath layers of nitrogen and methane ice? Now, this brings us to the big question. Could there be life in Pluto's ocean? Scientists think there is a good chance that Pluto could have life, because there is still a lot less they know about it. If there is liquid water on Pluto, life might not be as far behind as we once believed. His theory pushes the boundaries of what we've long considered necessary for life to exist. For years, we thought that liquid water, along with a suitable environment, was essential for the development of life as we know it. But what if life doesn't need Earth-like conditions? What if it could exist in places we had never imagined before, like the frozen expanse of Pluto? These findings are truly revolutionary, challenging our understanding of where life can exist in the universe. Adding to the intrigue is the discovery of a massive valley in the northwest region of Pluto, which offers further evidence of the planet's dynamic geological history. The presence of such a valley could be a sign that Pluto's interior is still active, possibly maintaining the warmth needed to sustain liquid water beneath the surface. If that's the case, it opens up exciting possibilities. Could Pluto, a place we once considered a cold, barren wasteland, actually harbor life? The thought alone is enough to spark wonder and curiosity about what else might lurk in our solar system's far reaches. According to NASA, the surface of the North Pole is fractured and cratered with white, tan, and brownish-red colors. In Pluto's current orientation, we're seeing signs of ancient landscapes that formed in places and ways we can't really explain. Scientists speculate that Pluto could be radioactive, slowly breaking down and releasing heat over time. The heat inside would have melted some of the ice, creating an ocean below the surface. The theory made sense, since radioactive elements could provide the ocean with the heat it needs to stay alive. So, did Pluto start out cold or hot? Leave a comment below, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos. If Pluto was hot at first and then slowly became cold, its surface should have grown, leaving behind geological features that were made by the growth. But if Pluto were cold to begin with, its surface would have become compressed over the course of its evolution. When it comes to Pluto, craters have grown wider over time, even in the oldest parts. It's strange that none of them show any signs of being compressed. There are also other pieces of proof. Carver-Baron used a hot start situation to make a model of how Pluto formed in the early stages. It was found that if Pluto formed by a series of big impacts that happened one after the other, the heat from those blasts would have kept the ocean inside. But for this to have occurred, Pluto would have had to form very quickly, in less than 30,000 years at most. This idea is interesting because it fits with new models of how the Kuiper belt, which is beyond Neptune and is full of icy objects and small planets, formed in the beginning. Things in the Kuiper belt are thought to have formed in a short time, probably between a few hundred and 1,000 years. The space beyond Neptune is basically full of objects that we just didn't know about before because they're too faint. Scientists now know that Pluto is an active, lively, and scientifically important world, even though it is very cold. Interestingly, it may even hold information that can help us learn more about other small planets that are very far from the Sun. Pluto doesn't really have the sort of 4 seasons that we have. We have very even seasons. We have a hot summer and a cold winter that are about the same length of time in each one because Earth is in a circular orbit around the Sun. Pluto's not. It's in this very eccentric orbit around the Sun. Here, there are extreme seasons. Pluto's extreme seasons and icy surface already set it apart. But what if it holds something even more surprising? An ocean. This discovery could reshape how we view distant worlds and the potential for life beyond Earth. Let's dive into what this could mean for Pluto and our understanding of icy planets. Ocean like none in the solar system. The existence of an ocean on Pluto shifts how we understand distant planets and moons, extending the possibilities for life well beyond what seemed possible. According to Ishan Mishra, a postdoctoral researcher and science team contributor at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, the discovery of these features adds to our understanding of the processes that shape Pluto and other icy planets in our solar system, as well as highlighting the complexity, dynamic nature and diversity of planetary surfaces like Pluto's. Sincerely, more studies should be done about our universe, but that could not be an easy task. A mission like the proposed Pluto orbiter would take even longer, possibly over 27 years, to reach Pluto and spend extended time studying it in detail. The technology required for such a mission is monumental, and the cost could exceed $3 billion. Still, for many scientists, the potential discoveries are worth every penny. Some of the geologists on our team have taken to calling Pluto the new Mars because it's every bit as complicated as Mars. In 2018, setting records for endurance on Mars, they found some game-changing evidence, like minerals that form in water and signs of ancient lakes. This was a big deal because it meant that Mars wasn't always the dry, barren place we see today. Pluto is 3 billion miles from the Sun, and honestly, you can never expect life at those kinds of temperatures. Photographs of Pluto show unusual serrated areas covered with distinctive ice formations resembling needles. Their height reaches 500 meters, and they are usually arranged in rows with a 5 kilometers interval. Scientists believe that these needles form during the freezing of methane from the Plutonian atmosphere. Images revealed that their highest parts are covered with methane snow. At the same time, the valleys contain thiolin, a mixture of complex organic molecules formed in the nitrogen-methane atmosphere and solar radiation. Pluto is far away in the cold and darkness of space, and there is insufficient energy for air molecules to escape, and they hover above the planet's surface. The thin atmosphere of this dwarf planet, mostly composed of nitrogen, is beginning to disappear. Scientists observe that the disappearance of the atmosphere is closely related to the state of the ice on the planet. The disappearance of Pluto's atmosphere may cause it to reflect more sunlight and appear brighter to Earth's inhabitants. Pluto might be small, but its impact on science is enormous, and its things are only just beginning to be uncovered. One of the most jaw-dropping discoveries is the possibility that Pluto's famous heart-shaped glacier, Sputnik Planitia, might be sitting atop a hidden ocean. Pluto's entire orientation has shifted due to the massive weight of Sputnik Planitia ice. This shift aligns the glacier with Pluto's largest moon, Charon. This isn't just any ordinary ice field, it's a nitrogen glacier that stretches for over 1 million square miles. This glacier is definitely very interesting because it is shockingly different from anything we've seen in Earth's glaciers or anywhere else in the solar system. There is a range of mountains right on the edge of this area that are made of frozen water ice and stand up to 6 kilometers above the plain. Based on measurements of its density and chemical composition, scientists believe it has a rocky core. NASA's long history of exploring the planets began 50 years ago with Mariner 2. It turns out Pluto is smaller than Earth's moon in the outer solar system. Scientists, including William McKinnon, believe Pluto might not only be a rocky core and a cold shell, they think that this icy structure could also make it more likely to have an ocean below the ice. Beneath this thick layer of frozen nitrogen, researchers suspect there's a vast reservoir of liquid water. If this is true, it means Pluto has defied expectations for billions of years. Alan Stern, the principal investigator for the New Horizons mission, believes this could be the first clue in proving that life might be possible in the most unexpected corners of the universe. Information from New Horizons made it clear that Pluto and its moons were much more complicated than people thought. According to the forecast, by 2030, the atmosphere around the entire planet will freeze and disappear. Astronomy is a very humbling discipline, people of knowledge would say. One Brian Cox says, going from simple single-celled animals to complex multicellular beings is like squeezing through a very small opening. It's so rare that finding another planet that supports life like here on Earth is next to impossible. Cox also thinks that complex life is probably not common in the world. However, he does say something interesting about what we have learned so far. As long as there is water on Earth, there is life. Cox keeps telling people to lower their hopes. There aren't any big, high-tech monsters in this conversation. If there is life on Pluto, it's most likely very simple and basic. It's rare for a complex life to be found, but any sign of foreign life, no matter how simple, would blow our minds. Jupiter has a heart, and Pluto's heart is where life on the planet starts and ends. NASA found something on Pluto that they call a heart, and it's making the Earth do many things. This heart is a huge nitrogen iceberg that covers a huge area of about 1 million square miles and is the largest glacier in the solar system. Sanchez, a physicist, said, "The puzzle grows as we get closer." Still, by comparing computer models with data from the James Webb telescope, we have gotten a new look at how Pluto formed. Asteroids and other sources of information have helped us learn a lot about the inner solar system. We know a lot about the inner solar system where Pluto is, but not so much about the outer solar system. What could be driving such geological diversity in such a tiny world? I hope you enjoy this video. Pluto has proven that it's a world worth exploring. In the end, discovering a possible ocean on Pluto is about more than just one distant world. It's about expanding our horizons and challenging our assumptions about where life can exist. It's about looking beyond the obvious and finding wonder in the most unexpected places. For years, we thought Pluto was a frozen, dormant world, but recent discoveries suggest something much more exciting. Beneath its icy surface, strange polygonal patterns have been found, hinting at an extraordinary process happening deep within. Could Pluto's icy crust be hiding something far more dynamic than we ever imagined? Icy lava. For years, scientists believed Pluto had formed gradually, accumulating ice and rock over millions of years. This slow process would have left Pluto cold and dormant, but recent studies suggest something entirely different. So, unlike what we would expect after billions of years of asteroid impact on this planet's surface, craters, what is bizarre is it is covered in polygonal patterns that suggest something extraordinary is happening beneath the ice. These polygonal shapes are at least 10 kilometers long. They sort of look like cells seen under a microscope. This pattern indicates convection, a process where heat from Pluto's interior causes its icy surface to churn and move almost like a lava lamp. Still, astonishingly, there's no molten lava here, just ice constantly shifting and reshaping the landscape. Pluto may have formed quickly and violently, with massive collisions generating enough heat to create a liquid ocean that could have been maintained ever since through radioactive decay. These strange features are called cryovolcanoes, which are a type of volcano that erupts icy volatiles, such as water, methane, or ammonia, instead of molten rock. Cryovolcanoes can also be found on some icy moons in our solar system, such as Enceladus and Europa. And on Pluto, there are several mountainous regions that have pits or depressions on their surfaces, which could be the result of cryovolcanic activity. Scientists speculate that Pluto's core could be radioactive, slowly breaking down and releasing heat over time. Pluto's heat is desperately trying to escape from below the glacier because of this. Bubbles of rising and falling nitrogen ice. All rock contains radioactive elements, which as they decay, release heat. So there's a continual flow of heat from the interior of Pluto to the outside. But it's a very small amount of heat because Pluto is pretty small. It doesn't have that much rock in it. But we think that even that tiny amount of internal heat is enough to move mountains. Literally. This idea was tested in a study that came out in June 2020. Scientists wanted to look into the idea that Pluto might have started out hot and formed through a series of big crashes like Earth. Scientists concluded Pluto and its ocean below the surface were beginning to take shape. At the same time, Earth was still a raging ball of molten rock. If this is true, it means Pluto's ocean could have been around for billions of years, potentially long enough for life to emerge. The cracks and faults stretching across Pluto's surface are also signs of flexing and movement, supporting the idea of a liquid layer beneath. If Pluto's ocean is confirmed to exist, it would raise tantalizing questions about the potential for life. The ocean beneath could be insulated by a thick layer of ice, protecting it from the extreme cold and cosmic radiation on Pluto's surface. Pluto's atmosphere consists of multiple layers of hydrocarbon haze. Despite its extreme rarity, winds blow within it, exerting unnoticeable influence on surface processes. By continuing to gather data, we are reminded it's about dreaming bigger and pushing boundaries. There are more extraordinary and magnificent things the universe has to offer. Launchpad for Mars SpaceX is making waves with plans for interplanetary travel, pushing the idea that humans could one day inhabit worlds unexpectedly. The James Webb telescope reminds us how much we do not know. What if life can survive in places far beyond the traditional habitable zone, hidden beneath layers of ice? Can you imagine the wonders that exist on the other dwarf planets that we haven't visited yet? Pluto has shown us amazing things, and it's clear that what lies beneath Pluto's icy heart is far more extraordinary than anyone ever dreamed. Pluto's story and the rest of the solar system have more surprises. They are a reminder that even the smallest, most overlooked places can hold the biggest surprises, whether it's an ocean beneath the ice or frozen air. These distant worlds could hold the keys to understanding the origins of life in the universe. Carl Sagan used to say, "We're all made of star stuff, so before you sleep, remember that, and no one tells you otherwise."